Okay, you ready? I need to hear a little energy here. I can't do it. I see Jim Fagerly's not paying any attention to me over there. Jim? We're starting. Thank you. Okay. I'm Sanford Wright. I'm president of the Dorothy Jane Foundation, named after my mom. And we're here tonight for the summer VIP fundraiser. And I like to say I did it all by myself, but you know it wouldn't be true, okay? So we have an organizing committee, and I'd like to have the organizing committee members stand up. First we have Sheila Countryman Bean. Sheila. Where is Sheila? I don't see Sheila. Sheila? There's just Sheila. She's worked with Joe on many auctions and is very facile at this process. We have others. Patty Larson. Patty and I almost got a divorce last week, but we're back together again. Linda, who helped broker things, I think. We have Kim Zion. Kim, here's Kim. Kim flew up from Los Angeles to be with us tonight. She's the one that got the Junior Olympics ballroom dancing thing going down there. And there's a big deal there. I almost forgot one of our committee members. Joe, our auctioneer. Where's Joe? There's Joe. Sorry, Joe.
You know, when Sanford calls.
But then, of course, we wouldn't be complete without an advisory group. We have an advisory group of 3. Tom Stonecipher and his wife, Brenda. They are where? There's Brenda and Tom. Tom. They're the ones that picked Thursday night. I assured them that Friday, Saturday, or Sunday would be just great, but they said no. How many of you would have been here if it's a Friday or Saturday or Sunday night? Nobody. That's what I thought. All right. And my sister-in-law, Deb, is over there helping out. We have with us tonight a few of the people that have contributed to the auction. We have Marilyn White. Where's Marilyn? Marilyn? You can stand up, Marilyn. She has this fantastic place in South Everett called the Ceramic Place. Have any of you heard of this place? Yeah, it's a great place. And I've taken Masha and Dasha there many times. Very, very wonderful place, and she's very great. We have with us tonight a couple of guys sitting over there, Randy and Jim. They're building contractors. Randy has a cabinet shop, Anderson's Fine Woods. Both of these guys are very wonderful, outstanding committee members. They've done many, many kind things for many people. And it's glad they're here. But you know, these guys aren't just builders, but they're fishermen. They love fishing, and they fish all the time. So if any of you have an interest in having a great day out fishing on the bay or in the rivers, these are the guys. Okay. George Montanero, a Boeing employee, was going to be here tonight, but he couldn't make it. I ran into George at QFC when my daughter Dasha wanted to go there for something, and there he was on the aisle. And we got to talking, and it turns out, I remember he's a Boeing employee. I said, you know, we have this auction coming up, and it's really great if you got a simulator, you know, a flight simulator. Lo and behold, he went up through all the echelons of Boeing, backwards, forwards, and he got the Boeing 787 flight simulator. It's never been on an auction before. This is the last time it will ever be on an auction. This is the flight simulator that the top Boeing test pilots flew for hundreds of hours to learn how to fly that plane. So it's very, very special. We're very glad to have it. And towards Tom Stonecipher. Tom, I don't know if this man has ever made a house call. See, this is Dr. Stonecipher over here. I don't think he's ever made a house call, okay? But I did. I made a house call, and guess what came of it? An auction item. So we have a nice condo in Fountain Hills, Arizona. I've heard from a number of people. It's quite nice. And it came to me through a house visit. I would suggest that you try that sometime. We have with us also a special person who's running for mayor, Judy Toohey. Judy, stand up, Judy. One of the most wonderful people I ever worked with in medicine in Everett was Cedric Toohey. Have any of you heard of Cedric Toohey? Snowy's Family Practice. Can we have a little round of applause for Cedric? His son was Judy's wife. And so I'm glad that Judy could be with us here this evening. What? We're here to talk about Make-A-Wish. And I think some of you know the origins of Make-A-Wish. It's the story of the power of one. I think all of you have had run into people in your lives who made a difference for you, or maybe your community. And that's nice. But this one boy named Chris, who lived in Arizona back in 1980, and who was not doing well with leukemia, told everybody that he wanted to be a policeman, a patrolman. And how many people would believe that? How many people would do anything about it, right? And it so happens that a U.S. border guard and a public safety official band together to act on this 7-year-old's wish of becoming a patrolman, and it happened. It happened probably with people like you behind it. And he was an honorary patrolman and policeman for a day. And because of that, the people around him formed the Make-A-Wish Foundation because of the 7-year-old boy. Wish. I mean, how would a person make a wish that'd be so powerful that something like that could happen? I could wish something, nobody would have a foundation named after me, I'm sure. But it happened. And soon after that, he succumbed to his disease, but the foundation named another 7-year-old boy to be the first Make-A-Wish recipient. A 7-year-old boy who had leukemia, just like Chris, the boy we're talking about. And this organization grew, and it grew, and over the past 3+ decades, there have been 285,000 Wish kids, 15,000 in the last year. It's said that there's a Wish kid made every 30 minutes. But statistics are one thing, but I think when we run into things in our daily lives that impact us in this regard, it's even more special. So there I was this last Sunday down in Alderwood Mall, and then around that area, because I needed a new coat for tonight. Tom does not like my coats. And so anyway, I went to this one place, and there was this very nice salesman there, tall guy, friendly guy, very talkative guy. And Dasha took off my coat. Masha, where's Masha? Where's Masha? Masha's there. So she took off the coat I had and went down the line, matching that coat with the other ones, until she found one that I liked. And the salesman was watching all of this, and he said, "Say, so what's going on? What you going to do with that coat, mister?" I said, "Well, it's for this special occasion tonight. Make-A-Wish." And then this guy, who was really talkative, all of a sudden didn't have much to say. And when he began to talk, I got out my cell phone and recorded what he said. Igor, could we have that video, please? It's a very short video. And listen to his words carefully. Do we have some sound there, Igor?
Oh, what event are you going to be wearing your new clothes to?
We have so I'm not like you to sound video.
So you're asking me what question was it?
Oh, what event are you going to be wearing your new clothes to?
We have a summer VIP fundraiser for Make-A-Wish. It's this coming Thursday. It's next week.
Oh, I have a niece.
No kidding?
Yeah. She had a critical illness when she was 2.
Wow.
And she is graduating. She just graduated from high school and is starting WSU.
No.
And yeah, she was.
And so what's the connection with Make-A-Wish with the niece?
Well, when she was 2, she was granted a wish for, well, actually it was more like 5 when she was able to go to Disneyland. So.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Did she go with her parents?
Yeah.
How many years ago was that now? How old is she now?
She's 18, so that was
13 years ago?
Yeah, 13 years ago from.
Does she remember it?
Yeah.
Does she talk about it?
Yeah. So.
So it's not like it's something that happened that's forgotten.
Yeah, it was a very special thing for her, and really good for my brother and sister-in-law too. Because
In what way was it so special for them?
Well, it wasn't the best of times, as far as a medical condition that went on for 6 years of constantly going to the doctor all the time. And
So the gift of Make-A-Wish really wasn't just for the kid.
It was for the whole family.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they saw it that way.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was a great thing for them.
And so even as a family, even today, 13 years later, it's still a topic of conversation.
Yeah, it was something that was really nice.
Uh-huh. And so
Thank
you know
you.
that personally because they told you about it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, hey, that's really nice. Thank you
Yeah.
very much for doing
No
that.
problem. Thank you.
So sometimes it's our personal experiences that mean more than statistics. I think that video is about a minute long, and in that minute, he covered all the things that are critical about tonight's understanding of Make-A-Wish. The family was facing times that weren't so good. The Make-A-Wish lifted up and gave hope to the family and the kid, and it was a memory that lasted probably forever. And that's kind of where we're at tonight. Can you imagine a 7-year-old kid having a wish over 3 decades ago and having that wish percolate down through America and wind up in this store, and for me to hear that? And it's particularly meaningful because last year we had in our Christmas show a wish kid named Monty Uesca. And what did I learn from Monty Uesca and his family? Exactly what we heard from this salesman in 1 minute, okay? And about the time I was introduced to Monty Uesca through an occupational therapist at the hospital, guess what else happened about the same time? My high school classmate's granddaughter was in the Everett Herald because she was facing some dark times with her family, okay? And she was granted a wish, but she thought they could never make this wish come true. I mean, I want to be in the presence of the Pope in Rome, presence. So what really happened there? What can Make-A-Wish do? How powerful is Make-A-Wish? How powerful is this organization that came from the power of this one 7-year-old kid 3 decades ago? Bill, my high school classmate, can talk a little bit about that. Bill?
Thank you, Sanford. First of all, I want to thank you for all you do for our community. We are really blessed to have you in our neighborhood. Thank you again. Secondly, I'm Addison's grandfather, and her dad is right over here, Bill Jr., and his wife, Kim, sorry. Tend to forget those. Yeah. So from a grandfather's standpoint and a father and the rest of the family, I just want to kind of paint the nightmare of the night it all occurred. And this was a couple years ago, I don't know the exact date. They were at our cabin up at Skycomish, and about 4:30 or so, I get a phone call at home from my son and said that Addison had had a seizure, and they were on the way to the hospital in Monroe, and that they would keep us updated. Well, my wife Susie and I got up and you know, what's going on? Well, the next call was from them. They were in an ambulance on the way to Children's, and he said they found something on the MRI, and they're referring her and sending her on to Seattle. Well, you know, it even makes me sweat now when I talk about this. However, in our case, things have turned out better, quite well. She's at Washington State in her 2nd year of college. But I'm gonna let my son, Bill Jr., kind of lay out the story about Make-A-Wish and how they were wonderful to our family and to them and to Addison. So, Bill?
So she had surgery. She had the tumor taken out. It was a cancerous tumor. And she had to go through radiation, proton radiation, and we're lucky enough to have that facility here in Seattle. And on her first day of radiation, my wife picked her up from school, and they're heading to pick me up to go down there to her first treatment. And she gets a phone call, says, "Hi, this is someone from Make-A-Wish, and is Addison there?" So Addison at the time was 17 years old. She grabbed the phone. She wasn't having a good day. And she says, "Hi, Addison, this is your wish granter from Make-A-Wish, and you've been granted a wish. We're going to get back with you in 2 weeks, and whatever you want. We can't buy you a house, we can't pay off your family stuff, but we can give you a wish what you want." And so she thought about it, and she started radiation. She wanted to travel, and she wanted to do something that no one else would want to do. And she was at Archbishop Murphy at the time in her junior year, and she was in the history of the church. And she goes, I think I want to go to Rome and meet the Pope. And so we ended up, she went through treatment. That last picture there before the Pope, that was her in her wig. She lost all of her hair, and it's tough for a girl to go through all of that at 17 years old, her junior going into her senior year. But one thing Make-A-Wish does for a family is it gives you hope and something to look forward to. And I can't tell you how important that was to our family, because you knew at the end of this something great was going to happen and you were going to have a great time. So she finished treatment. Everything's good so far. We have our next checkup in October. So we went to Rome, and that's my daughter meeting the Pope, and that's my other daughter. She got to bring, they treated us, just amazing. From the time we got to the airport, they had a separate shuttle bus for the park and ride to the airport for us. From there, we had walked right through security, right onto the plane. We were the first ones on the plane. She got to sit in the cockpit. Flew over there. Someone met us at the gate. Limo ride to a very nice hotel, walking distance from the Vatican. They put my wife and us two in a suite, and our two daughters in another suite. We had a personalized tour of the Vatican. We had a personalized tour of all around Rome. And then we got to meet the Pope, or she did. I didn't, but she did. And she was blessed with that, and we had a wonderful time. It was by far and away beyond our wildest imaginations, and it was so great to have something to look forward to. So thank you to Make-A-Wish, and whatever we can do for Make-A-Wish, it's a wonderful foundation. So thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Those are wonderful words. We have to all remember tonight that what happened for him happened because this 7-year-old boy in Arizona named Chris decided he wanted to be a patrolman, honorary patrolman. That's how it started. That's how this whole organization grew. The power of one, yeah? So it's one thing to talk about this sort of thing. It's another to talk about statistics that relate to the foundation. But it's great to hear these personal individual stories like the one that was told by the Schmitz family, Bill and Bill Jr. Okay. We're very honored tonight to have 2 Wish kids with us. One is Wish kid Sierra. Sierra, are you over there? Let's have a round of applause for Sierra. Go, Sierra. Okay. And her family, her mother, could the mom stand up? The mom is there, and other family members, and of course the father, Dan, and the brother, Dietrich. Dietrich, maybe you can stand up. Okay. So I think, we need to hear their story, yeah? We need to hear your story, Dan. Maybe you can, now, Sierra can't speak for herself. She understands, and she can react, as you'll see later. But Dan is the spokesperson. So Dan, I'm going to entrust this microphone to you.
All right. Well, thank you, Sanford. It's really special to be here. You guys have seen this piece of equipment sitting in the middle of the room, and there are photos up here now. You may have seen if we're here lingering or enjoying your snacks and stuff to drink about this kind of equipment. This is my family, my wife, my 2 younger children, Cassidy and Riley, and Sierra, our older daughter, and I have my brother, his girlfriend Julie, my mother-in-law, and my nephew Kai. You can see them all in the photos here as you've been watching. They're all in there. So that's kind of present tense. I want to back up and say, well, how did we get here? How did we end up wanting to be getting something from Make-A-Wish? Or what is our situation? So before my wife and I had kids, I grew up in this area from Olympia, both of us, and we got married. Then like 5 years later, we had a little girl named Sierra, and like a month later, everything was fine up to a month, and then we ended up basically living at Children's for a month saying, nothing will happen, you're fine, go home, and playing the yo-yo game back and forth, getting lots of trips with emergency aid back to the hospital. Like, I think we should just stay here, let's not leave until you figure out what's going on. So they eventually did, and that was some pretty harsh news to take. Sierra was diagnosed with something called Aicardi syndrome. It's a French doctor, Aicardi. He's since passed, I think 2-3 years ago. But it's a rare syndrome that's only girls. There are like 500 in the world, and the life expectancy is kind of varies. We were told maybe age 9. She's now 14 and beating all the odds, so got to keep it going. That's kind of dark stuff to take. Well, what comes with that, Sierra has epilepsy, problems walking, problems talking. We had to literally teach her everything, like how to snap her fingers she doesn't know yet. A lot of things, it's just repetition. She can learn and continues to learn. It just takes a lot of patience and practice, practice, practice. So that just is a constant tax for us, going to appointments and things. That's kind of the medical side of things. So kind of fast forward from that, what do we do? What do we like to do? When Sierra was smaller, up until she was, well, the picture up on the upper left, you could see that was one of the later pictures. I think she may be like, I have a picture, remember it was like she was 75 pounds, up to how much she weighed when I carried her in my backpack. And I used the same backpack forever. But Sierra would love to go hiking, my wife and I, and Sierra would go out on stuff, and Sierra's always grabbing. You go through the brush. She really loves the texture of everything. So it was really cool to do. Fun for all of us to get out. And then the us grew. After Sierra was 5, we then had 2 kids. We've adopted these 2 at a very young age, locally. They became part of our family, and then they started hiking with us. Well, with that, Sierra it was kind of along the same time where Sierra outgrew the backpack, and then they started riding in it, and we had another backpack, so 2 of us. It was a very tough decision to make, to choose to leave Sierra behind, because we couldn't carry her, and give them a chance to go out as well. So it was really heartbreaking to say, Sierra, you can't go. When Sierra would see us, logistics, if you're gonna go on a trip, you get your stuff out, you make sure you got this and that, all the stuff you take with a baby or a toddler in a backpack. We have all that there. Sierra's no dummy. She sees that stuff like, I want to go. And then we have to leave her behind. So it was really just, makes me sad now. She just would actually cry that she's not going to get to go. And they're like, there's no stuff. We had tried, you name it, whatever equipment, the Bob stroller. They have like an off-road version of Bob stroller. It's a 3-wheel thing. There's lots of baby joggers and all this stuff. When you're, let's say, typical developing kids that have equipment, you can use these joggers and try to go on things. Well, we've tried everything, and for the kind of terrain we try to go on and stuff, that's just not conducive for that, and she's outgrown it. There's just no way to go. So then we learned about, there's a place in Seattle near Children's by Sandpoint called Outdoors for All. It's an awesome place to have bikes, skiing. Sierra's a different story. Sierra's been doing downhill skiing last year. Can you imagine that? Different equipment, but awesome. She's a speed demon. I'll spare you that time for that. It's an awesome story, though. So we saw this like in 2008, before we even knew we needed such equipment. They had one of these at this expo in North Bend, where we live. And then it kind of came around to, gee, they still have that thing, and we can rent it. Well, it's in Seattle, and we're in North Bend, so that just, and it's only one of them. So someone had it, and it's in Idaho. Well, you're not going anywhere. So it's kind of like, wow, with all this stuff we're doing, appointments and this and that, it's just not cool to be needing to rent such equipment and it's only available certain times. So you can't be nimble and decide the weather's good, let's go. You're kind of tied to a schedule, which none of us enjoy, being tied to a schedule on your off time, so to speak. So we got to thinking about this, like, hey, I think I've heard of Make-A-Wish. My wife and I are kind of like, I'll say stubborn and prideful of we're going to do it ourselves, and I don't care what challenge there is, let's just beat it down and mow the world down and keep going. So we kind of don't want to go ask for help. But then this was kind of like, you know, there's an awesome place out there. I think we should try. And we looked at Make-A-Wish and didn't really know what would come of it. And then shortly after, we ended up with this equipment. You know, there's details behind that. It was just awesome to receive this equipment. You can see in the pictures up here, if I kind of go from around here, top left is where Sierra's in the backpack before she's too big to crush my spine. In the center photo is my brother on the left, and this is a rented version of the Trail Rider, where we're like, yeah, we'd love to own one of these. One of the first times we rented it. And you can see, like, take a wheelchair on that, or a baby jogger. You're not going to do that, or don't tell your wife. So this is awesome. This equipment can go so many more places than anything else. And it's man-powered. It's not going to run out of batteries. You just need 2 oxes to pull it around. I'm one of them. So on the upper right is, I'm in the back holding, this is the day Sierra got her wonderful gift from Make-A-Wish. And Cassidy and Riley are there. And there's my wife, Dana. And this is just near a park near North Bend, close by. Lower left is a trail leading up to where we're going on the lower right. You can see Sierra's enjoying the ride, big smile. She's a hug machine, so don't get too close. She might hug you. And the picture down on the bottom right is, I'll say it's our favorite place. You'll see a video shortly that's in the same area here. There's this awesome hike you can go. It's so set up for, it's not deliberately set up for somebody with a handicap. It just happens to be an awesome trail to go. And you get to this waterfall where it's like 150 feet high. You can't imagine going there. You're like, wow, how could I get here? If I was not able to go here, it would really be a bummer. And also maybe you wouldn't know you couldn't get there. But it's a beautiful place. Can't say enough. You can't hear with the water coming down. You have to walk out of the stream, go a little ways away because it's just rushing. Like if you've been to Snoqualmie Falls in the area here, it's quite loud as well. Very special place. When we go on vacation, we go there every year and go out on this trail. It's so neat out in Montana. So I could say that I could talk forever about this gift, Make-A-Wish, just to be able to take the burden off and give our family freedom, let our family go out and be a family together, because people with special needs, whatever your challenge may be, I would say I see the world as excluding. There's not a lot of deliberate including. And for Sierra, she likes to go out and do this stuff. She's not included. She can't go. And now with this, she can, just like everybody else. It's very special. We went on the 4th of July, and we go on this particular trail. There's quite a volume of people. It's just awesome to see the shock of people. You're not trying to sell yourself. You're just going. And they see you. They're so inspired by what this means. They know it's awesome. They don't even know you. And they're like, you guys rock. This thing rocks. Give you freedom you never could imagine if you have this kind of challenge. So it's very special. So let's see. What's next? I think we need to show how this equipment works. If any of you are willing to come up and take a ride, think about it, and get in the queue. Someone want the mic? This really is quite easy to use. Yeah. So I'm not even doing anything. The flat terrain. You should try this on the hill. It's a little more.
Dan, are you looking for a volunteer? You sure you want this guy? Yes. Oh, wait a minute. He's connected with the flan lady. Cammy, did you enjoy that wonderful dessert tonight? Flan? Oh, I love flan. She's a big hit in the hospital operating room lounge, let me tell you. Huh? That's cheating. Do you like flan?
I love her.
Yeah.
Mhm. I love her flan. Yes.
She loves your flan. You might guess who I work with in the operating room. Steve. Steve Barcott. I refer to him as Barcotics. Very knowledgeable fellow. Cammy brought flan to the operating room lounge one day and everybody went crazy over it. So I talked with Steve and Cammy and she was willing to make flan for us this evening. So maybe a round of applause for the flan lady. That looked like a pretty smooth trip, everybody. Who do you think we should see on this trail rider next? Does anybody have suggestions? There's my attorney sitting over there, but no, I don't think that. There's my neighbor, Tom Subich, over the way there. Of course, my dad's friend's Jim Fagley. But you know what? I think we need to see our auctioneer. Where's Joe? Joe? Are you hiding? Joe, get over here. Can't you just see him on this trail rider? Out there on a log, crossing the creek. Joe, that could be you up there. Oh, fantastic. Take good care of him, you guys. He still has the auction to go here. Don't let anything happen to him. Okay, this looks a little risky. I hope Joe makes it. What's that? Sheila, what did you have to say about Joe? Stretch him in? Yeah. As some of you know, Joe was the mayor of Mukilteo for about 8 years. Did a great job. Under his direction down there, we have the Rose Hill Center, where I used to go to grade school. He tore down my grade school, which didn't make me very happy.
Just to show you how this maneuvers, how easy we're going to lead.
Hey, Dan.
You can go over.
Hey, Dan, this is the man that tore down my grade school in Rose Hill. How many love the old Rose Hill grade school? Yeah, you tore it down. This ride doesn't have to be too smooth. Yeah, okay, it doesn't have to be too smooth. Okay. You know, for years I rode around in the 79 Rabbit. Some of you may know that. And this is about as fast as it would go. Okay. Joe, it's like riding in my 79 Rabbit. It's almost the same. Sarah, thanks for loaning your trail rider to Joe. All right, you guys, that's great. You know what? Maybe you could put the trail rider over there, and that would be great. Round of applause for our auctioneer. Very brave man. Very brave. Thank you, Joe. Well, Joe, I think it's about time we put you to work here. Yeah, well, I think, Joe, we're getting down to that point. Yeah. Now, someone just asked about Ben. Did you know we have 2 Wish kids here tonight? I mentioned that, right? 2? Ben's over there. Ben, hi, Ben. But we've not asked you to talk yet, have we? You don't think we've forgotten you? That would be a shame. Ben came all the way from Seattle. Man, can he talk. He's a Facebook marketer for Seattle businesses, among other things. This man can talk. Now, Sierra can't talk. Dan can talk for Sierra. But no one needs to speak for this man. No one. But it's not time for you yet. Joe?
All right. Now, is there anybody this year, literally, because they're wanting me to close the silent auction. If you want to go over and get one last bid in, this would be your time, because they're going to pick those up and then that's it, you're done. Is there anybody want to get over there now before we get started on the line? There goes a couple checking their bids.
I gotta check my bid.
All right, we'll let you check those bids there. And in the meantime, I want to you know, why are we here tonight, right? Well, obviously Sanford called, and when Dr. Wright calls, you take the call, and you know you're gonna be involved in something. At least that's the way it works with me. But really, you're here because you're gonna have fun, and you wanna help your community, right? And help Make-A-Wish. You're gonna hear, you've heard a couple of great stories, you're gonna hear another one when you get to hear Ben and hear about his story. I tell you, all of us were listening, if you don't get choked up, then you're not listening, because his story you'll hear, and it's, anyway, just like all of the others. You know, I remember hearing about the girl who got the wish to go see the Pope, and that made the news, but you don't hear, right, the backstory, and you get to meet the people, and that is so cool. I wish she could have been here tonight. We meet her in person, but she's in second year at Wazoo. That's pretty awesome. To go from brain cancer and be able to know that you can go on and go to college, I mean, that's just, that is tremendous. So, we're going to be able to hear some more stories. So you're going to get an opportunity to help some more tonight. We want to thank you for what you did in the silent auction, and they're wrapping up back there now. But you're going to get another opportunity. We've got about 6 live items. You hopefully had a chance to take a look at them over there. We're going to describe them. You'll see them up here. But what we're going to do first, before we get to our first item, how many of you have been to an auction before? A couple of you, right? Well, most of you. Good, good. All right, have you heard of heads and tails? Anybody heard of heads and tails? Well, if you haven't, you will now. Okay, so how heads and tails works, and this isn't going to cost you anything. It's completely free. Normally you get charged to do this, and we're not going to charge you for this. Kind of the price of admission. You're going to stand up. Everybody who wants to play is going to stand up. And I'm going to flip a coin. You're going to choose either heads or tails. Okay? Now, you have to pick your heads or tails. You can't pick anybody else's, and you can't do one of each, okay? So heads or tails, I'm going to flip a coin. If it's heads, and you chose heads, you stay standing. If you chose tails, and I flip heads, you got to sit down. And we just wind it down until there's only a few left, then finally the last person. Now the winner is going to get a $50 gift card to Ivers, and it didn't cost you anything. So do you want to play? Yeah. All right, good. So everybody stand up that wants to play. It didn't cost you anything. Okay, so this is where you pick your heads or your tails. We can have a little music in the background if you've got something little heads or tails jazzy going on there. Heads or tails? This is heads. This is tails. Okay, well, it looks like we got a pretty good mix. All right, we're going to flip that coin. It's tails. So if you had heads, you sit down. If you had tails, you stay standing. If you were tails, you stay standing. We cleared about half the crowd. That's good. All right. Now pick again. I mean, what would be odds, right? It would be tails again. And this is Brenda, this is a real coin, heads and tails, right? I see it. Okay. All right. She would not lie. It's an Everett City Council member. All right. Heads or tails? Here we go. It is heads. All right. Good choice. Oh, there's just a few of you left. There you go. This is how, okay. So now pick heads or tails. You kind of look at your neighbors. What are they doing? You guys ready? That's your final choice? All right, it is. It's tails. Who's left? You two? That's it? Come up here. Now, this normally works. I have one face that way, one face this way. The problem is there's a mirror. We're normally surrounded by mirrors. So you face that way, and you face that way. All right, now, yeah, there we go. Don't look at him in the mirror there. All right, pick a heads or tails. Yeah, yeah. There's only two of you. All right, ready? All right, this is good. Now, they didn't see, so we have one of each. All right. What is it, Brenda?
Heads.
Heads it is! So you win.
Go, Randy, go.
Hold on. A man of my word here. $50 gift card. You're very welcome. You don't get the coin, though. All right, was that fun? So you kind of get you out of your seat, get you jazzed up. Okay, so we're going to start with our first item. Our first item tonight, you guys already met Jim and Randy. Okay, they have donated. You heard about the fact that they are fishermen and that they like to go out in either the rivers or out in the sound. So they're going to take you, your choice. You want to go in the river and fish, you can do that. If you want to go out in the sound and fish, you can do that. Completely your choice, if, of course, you win the bid. All right, let's start this off. Who would bid $100? Want to start off with $100? Anybody here at $100? How about 50? Let's go $50. $50. This is that part where you guys remember the bid cards we gave you earlier? They look like this. They have numbers on one side. And by the way, since they're only printed on one side, if you could do me a favor, when you put it up, show me the number. That helps me, so I know what the number you're bidding. Okay, seriously, this is, you get to go out fishing. Now, you do have to purchase a license, correct? Even if you're going to catch the fish right, the farm-raised ones that got out and there's no limit, you can catch as many you want, you still need a license. I read about that in the paper. So anyway, you can catch all of those that you want that got out of the hatchery. $50. There we go. We got 50 right here. How about 100? We got 100. How about 150? 150 now. How about 2? We got 2 right there. How about 250? Anybody? 2 over here. How about 250? 250? 200. Would you bid 250? We got 200. Anybody want to bid 250? 200. Going once.
Hold it, Joe. My
Yes.
daughters are here and they love to fish. I'm 250.
There you go. We got 250. Sam, we got 50. Are you going to let him do that to you? 300. He's going to go 250. You going to go 300? Do it. Take it. Oh, no. I have 2 daughters. They were made to be disappointed by their father. Well, there's that option as well. Now, wait a second. He's going 300. You're at 250. If he goes to 300, would you do 2 of them?
So we do 2 people, no matter.
Okay, 2 people. So that's another option, I suppose. Not the one we're looking for, but that's another option. Because Sanford, I'm imagining he's going to take his daughters. You can take your whole family. Well, there you go. Okay, 300?
You're talking to me, Joe?
No. You're in. You're in at 250.
Okay.
All right, now we're going once. Anybody else who was willing to take it? There you go. I knew there was somebody who was willing to take it from Sanford. We got 300 Sanford. Anybody who would bid 300 certainly go 350 for their daughters.
Stone Cipher trying to outbid me then?
Yeah, he did. He doesn't even make house calls. So you got...
Listen, Stone Cipher's never made a house call in his life. No way. If it's between Stone Cipher and myself, I'm up.
There you go. 350. Are you going to let him do that to you? Do you like to go fishing? Oh. This crowd is killing me. Well, now wait, you have a buddy who would like to go fishing with you. There you go. 350 is going to take your daughters. 350. You want to go 4? The battle of the doctors here. 350 going 4. Would have been $400.
What do we do?
I can go with Dom.
So we go higher?
And kids.
I guess Olga says we go up 1 more notch.
All right, 400. Now apparently, Brenda will go fishing with him. All right, we got 450? No? All right.
Tom just made my daughters very happy.
You may be getting it. Going once, twice, so.
Thank you.
What's your bidder number?
Thank you. I don't have a bid number. Tom, I guess it's yours.
So, $400, bidder number, Dr. Wright. Since he doesn't have a bidder number. All right. Okay, oh, hi, this is my wife Candy up here helping me out. I thought I recognized the voice. Yeah.
Huh?
All right, now this next one, you know, we've got some items here tonight that I do a fair amount of auctions. I got to tell you, I have never seen a 787 flight simulator. And because you can't get them. Let me look at that. Oh, no, go back. Look at it, and then he took it away. All right, but I've done a flight simulator. I got one at an auction, and it was for the 737. I had to drive down by SeaTac, and it was donated by Alaska Airlines. And that's how they train their pilots and so forth. So you can do that. I know nowhere that you can go and do a 787. So you get 1 hour flight simulator, and I know a few people who want it. Having technical difficulties over there. So a flight simulator 787, you can't get this anywhere else. right here from Make-A-Wish. Why don't we start this off? We'll start out off 100. Who's it at $100 right there? Oh, question, yes?
Information to interject.
Yes.
I'm also a Boeing employee, and that's part of my job.
Is to do flight simulators?
Well, I go flying on the airplane.
Uh-huh.
The floor has seats in it, and fly with the test pilots, and do work behind the scenes to make those work. It's not my only job, but it's an awesome thing to do.
So you're saying you'll take us with no seats?
You don't want to go on this flight.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I'm bouncing around the back. So what? So you're saying you can't get this somewhere?
Right, it's very unique.
So what? Do you have a question on that?
And well, I just asked or advertising how
Oh,
awesome this is.
there you go. And this is straight from a Boeing employee who has to go on a flight with no seats. You get a seat. You're going to go with a pilot sitting in the, I believe, the left seat. I think you get the right seat. But you get to fly, so they're going to take you. Here's the other cool thing. You know that planes are not allowed to fly between the buildings in Seattle, right? You can't do that anymore for obvious reasons. Oh, you can here because it's a flight simulator. You can buzz your house, you can fly wherever you want. Apparently, it takes off from Boeing Field in your, alternate universe. It takes off from Boeing Field, and you can fly wherever you'd like to. And in an hour, heck, you can get pretty far, I would think. And then, you got to land and all that stuff, and hopefully it's successful. So let's start off. $100. $100, who's going to bid one? How about 150? 150 right there. 200. How about 250? We got 200 looking for 250. You know you want it, Chuck? 250? Yes. 200's over here. We're going to let Bill Rucker get it for $200. This is a flight simulator you can't get anywhere else. Anybody else at 250? We got 200. Oh, okay. I guess I'm in at 250. Anybody else at 3? Bill's $300. How about 350? Would it be $350 on a flight simulator? We got 300 looking for 350. Remember, we only have 6 items. Don't miss your opportunity. It's going. Going. Sold. Hold on. 350 right here. All right, Bill. Will you go for 400? How about 450? Do it. Don't get it. Yes, Rucker. Yes. 450? I said no. Hold on a second. You don't even understand what he was saying about you over there. $450. They will not let you fly a real one. The 787s, they're very particular about who they let in that seat normally. So this may be your only opportunity. And it's safe too. Oh, it's for your son-in-law. Well, how much do you love him? There you go, 450. All right, we got the 450, it's for the son-in-law. 500? No, it's 450. He's saying no. It's for his son-in-law. It's not like it's for his daughter or anything. 500? All right, 450 going once. 450 going twice. Nobody else over here in the last second? Sold. Bidder number 126. 450 for 126. All right. Our third item, we have a condo in Fountain Hills, Arizona. This is a 1-week stay, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, fully furnished. And there's only 20 units, so it's not like you're in this 200-unit facility. It's very, very close-knit. You've got the pool, the spa, all that stuff. Is there a time limit? Well, 1 week. They kick you out after a week. But other than that, any week in the months of September or October of this year. So it's going to be looking really good as we start to get cold. Okay? So if you can take a week off in the next 2 months, this would be a perfect trip for you. Okay? If you can't, it'd be a perfect trip for, say, your son-in-law or somebody like that. All right. Let's start this off at 200. This is a week in Arizona. You could drive there if you wanted. $200. Anybody at 200? Or also another way to look at it is to help Make-A-Wish. How about 100? See, you keep doing this, I keep thinking you're bidding. $100. How about, who would have bid $100? This is an Arizona trip right there. $100. How about 150? We have 100. Anybody at 150? You're going to get a good deal. $100 bid. We're looking at 150. A 1-week trip to Arizona. It's going for $100. Oh, all the way in the back, you got to yell. It's like I can't even see that far. All right, we got 150 all the way back. Rhonda, thank you for your help as well. We got 150. How about 2? Where it is? Fountain Hills. It's about a block from the fountain. And there's some hills. Does anybody know where Fountain Hills is? By Phoenix area. Yeah. Okay, 200? It's not like in the immediate desert. It's boom, $200. Rhonda, 250? 250. How about 3? 300? That is like, what, $50 a night? That's like crazy. Huh? Oh, you're holding out. There's another one you got your eye on. All right, we're at 300 in the back. Anybody else? You're going to let Rhonda have it for 3? All right, 250. I'm sorry, Rhonda, you're at 250. Anybody else at 3? 250 going once. Arizona going twice. Sold. 250 to bidder number. Rhonda, what's your bidder number? 114. I guess she would know. She's back there, so she'll be writing that down. Okay. Yes, thank you. Now, I could talk about this, but you know what? We have the executive director from Everett Rowing here, Patrick McGovern, and I want him to come up because this next item, The Boys in the Boat, who's familiar with that story? Who's read the book, right? You get an opportunity, and by the way, if you haven't, the book comes with it, because if you buy that painting, you need the book, because you need to know the story. So we made sure the book came along with it. Come on up. Tell them a little bit about that history. Do we have a microphone for him, or can you guys hear him okay?
You bet. Here we go.
It's a print by an artist who spent residency here in the Seattle area named Austin Blyer. The original is hanging in a museum on the East Coast in Connecticut. Thank you. I should probably tone it down now. And yeah, it's just a lovely print. It's kind of created with a little bit the heart of the rowing community in mind. But when I take a look at this print, I see, obviously you kind of see 8 guys toiling away, you see a beautiful location, but, there's much more to it than that, I think. When I look at this print, I see individuals who have put the good of their team ahead of the good of themselves. I see these individuals that make thousands of decisions every day for the good of their team rather than the good of themselves. And when I look at this scene, I see finesse, I see balance, I see power, I see diligence, I see care, I see the search for perfection, and you kind of see that both in the art and in the rowing. So that's a little bit about kind of what the print, what it certainly means to me. I have a practiced eye. Obviously, I watch boats go by all day long, and try and get individuals to accept and embrace these ideals. Many of you have read the story about the boys in the boat, which it's a story of a local crew, kind of hardscrabble young men that put the good of their team above the good of themselves, and they won the Olympic gold medal in 1936 in Berlin. And this print is a perfect complement to that book. There's actually a copy of the book that will come along with the print. And when you see this print in your home or your office, I think I should call to mind the idea of achieving greatness through coming together for a common goal and a greater good. And I think that's what we're all here for this evening, and bid away. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Patrick. Okay, now if you don't know the story, imagine Berlin in 1936 and the Olympics there. They were rowing in front of Hitler. They were not supposed to win. Nobody in the world gave them a shot. They put him in the worst lane possible. And if you read the book, it is crazy, the fact that they won this race. These kids, farmers' kids, it is really, really a heartwarming story. And you get a piece of it if you win the bid. Let's start this off. How about $200? $200 on the painting. Right here, how about $250? We look at $250 right there, how about 3? We got $250 looking for 3. Who'd have been $300 on the painting? We've got $250. Here's 3 right here, how about $350? $350 now, 2 right there, $350. How about 4? $400 on this painting. You're not gonna get another one like this. $400, we got $350 looking at $400. I just keep thinking you're bidding because you're one of my best bidders and you're not even bidding. 400, right, where did I see it? Oh, the original $4,400 that sold in Mystic, Connecticut. Really, Connecticut? It should have sold out here. Who had 400? All right, very, very good. We've got 400 right here in the middle of the room. $400. What about 450? I know it's not the original, but it's a beautiful, beautiful picture. 450. We got 400 looking 450. 450 right here. Would you go 5? She's got 450. Would you go 5? $500. How about 550? We've got 5 looking for 550. Who'd bid $550 on the painting? 550. We've got 5. It's going to go. Going once, twice. Sold, sold, sold. $500. Bidder 143. 143. All right. A weekend use of a house in East Wenatchee. Now this house, I've stayed there before. This is owned by Bill Tackett of the Buzz-Ins. That's their house. There it goes again. Anytime I start talking about something, it's like this, it wants to disappear on me. I mean, this is crazy. This house, I've gone over there, and I have guys I play poker with regularly, and we do an overnighter there. It is 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, a den with a full-size hide-a-bed, full kitchens on 2 levels, a swimming pool with a large deck patio, game rooms. I mean, this thing has a pool table. It has ping pong table downstairs. It has a bar. And here's the thing. It comes with a $100 Buzzing gift certificate as well, and there's 2 Buzz-Ins in Wenatchee, so that's handy, so you can eat while you're over there. But it also backs up to the golf course, which is the East Wenatchee Golf and Country Club. Who here is a member of the Everett Golf and Country Club? Any members? Okay, if you're a member of the Everett Golf and Country Club, it's a reciprocal. So you can play over there as well. I'm not a member, so I don't get to play golf when I'm over there. But you can if you're the bidder. $100. $100. Who's going to start with $100 to stay in Wenatchee? Yes, right there. How about 150? You going to go 150? 150 right there. How about 2? 2 right here. 250? 250. How about 3? 3 right here. How about 350? We're looking at 3. Who would have bid 350 right there? How about 4? We're looking at $400. How about 450? 450? Got 400 looking for 450. Who would have bid 450? Yes. And you can go, yeah, me. How about 5? We got 450 looking at $500. Yes. It is basically you just need to call them and set it up. There are certain parameters. Typically, when you get something in auction like this, if it doesn't say, usually they give you a year to use it. It's a typical, you kind of got a year. You can't wait like 6 years, and they're like, who is this? Because they might have sold the house by then. So usually a year, but there is no time limit in terms of, that you have to use it in October. All right. I believe I had 450 looking for 5. Is that correct? All right. Looking at 500. Where's my 450? Right there. Okay, perfect. 450 looking at $500. This is Wenatchee, people. No. This is East Wenatchee. This is a good part of Wenatchee. 450 looking for 5. $500, you're going to miss out. 450 going once, twice. Sold, sold, sold. 450 bidder number 128. 128. And we're getting down to our last item. This is very, very unique. As you know, that Dr. Sanford Wright has a pretty good connection with the Hartley Mansion. And if you've been to the Hartley Mansion, you know how beautiful it is inside and out. This is not necessarily a current photo, but a beautiful one. You get to use the use of the Hartley Mansion for 4 hours. Now this can be a business event, social event, maybe if somebody's running for a high office and they wanted to maybe have people come over, do maybe a fundraiser or something. A couple politicians in the room, something like that. It is limited to 50 people. Most of us don't have 50 friends, so that's usually not a problem. And you just need to call for a mutually agreeable time. And again, make sure that it's within a somewhat of a time frame. He may sell it. You never know, right? Okay. Where do we want to start this off at? How about $100? $100 right here. 150? 150. How about 2? 200 right there. How about 250? Right there. How about 3? 3 right there. How about 350? Yes. 4? 450? This is ping pong now. 450? 455? 50 people you can charge them. Yes! 550? This was like a governor's mansion, basically. Yeah. Can we get you guys some wine or something? You can... Yeah. 550? No? Okay. This nice lady's going to get it for 500 if nobody else bids 550. Anybody else down here? I don't want to leave you out. It's going for 500? Once, twice, or if you'll do 5, will you do 5? And we'll do it twice?
I have to depend on Patty Larson to answer that question.
Patty. What do you think?
I have to tell you that Susie and I have been friends since we were 5 years old.
So that's probably a yes.
Well, that was only about 30 years ago, but it's a yes.
Yeah, that's right. They were 30 years ago. Okay, so we sold 2, 500, 500. Bidders number 1.
All right.
134. 134 and 128. Yes. All right. So give you guys all a hand. Thank you very much. All right. Now, kind of get comfortable in your seat, but hang on to it. All right. Grab a tissue if you need to. I'm going to have Wish Kid Ben come up. Come on up, Ben.
Hi.
Hi, Ben. Oh, yeah, you're just get past that speaker. You should
Past
be
the
fine.
speaker, you got it.
This is Ben. Let's give him a hand.
Hi, guys. Thank you very much. I need to ask, actually, for a couple of things. I want you guys to suspend your disbelief just a little bit for me. If we could pretend that I'm not holding these cards and I have to refer to them, all right? Just pretend I have this completely memorized already, okay? And when I snap my fingers like this, that is going to automatically, magically change the slide. It's not anyone over here doing it, it's all me, okay? And later I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and they're going to feel kind of rhetorical, so I'm just going to give you the answers ahead of time. It's yes, it's 3 yeses in a row. Just hold on to that, okay? Thank you guys for having me tonight. This is really wonderful. I want to thank Wish Kids Sierra. It was really, really sweet to meet you. It's been really awesome learning about your family. And sending a lot of love to Wish Kids Monty and Addison, who we heard about earlier. It's really good to make new friends who've been through a lot of the same stuff. And since I'm a fellow Wish Kid from the future, I'm hoping I can kind of speak on behalf of all Wish Kids tonight. I'd like to tell my story. So, my family always knew how to have fun. How am I gonna snap and hold this at the same time? Really? No, I'm gonna move a little bit, but as you can tell, I'm more of an improv person than a prepared person. My family always knew how to have fun. So, my mother, Kate, my father, James, my brother, Mike, they all taught me in their own ways that there's always a reason to laugh. My sense of humor can be an anchor in even the most turbulent of storms. Those lessons stuck with me, and they made me the man I am today. So, when I was 5, that's my parents. When I was 5, I was diagnosed with leukemia. In the same year, my brother was diagnosed with ADHD. So, for my parents, everything changed. Like, literally every single possible thing changed forever. For me, this is just age 5, you know? Life is just life. I'm just a kid. But a year can make a lot of difference. I didn't really understand how different age 6 was going to be when I was doing age 5. Spoiler alert, I kicked cancer's butt, so I'm here. I'm good, yeah. Got to skip to the end, make sure you know how it turned out. A month-long inpatient visits slowly became monthly outpatient check-ins. My hair grew back. And I almost felt like a regular 6-year-old, whatever that means. That's about when the Make-A-Wish Foundation reached out to my folks and I. They told me that I deserved to have my wish come true. And they asked me what I wanted most in the world. I gotta be honest, at first I didn't get it. Doesn't everyone deserve to have their wish come true? I mean, does it just mean that people with cancer, they get to like get in line first? Or do kids with cancer get to skip ahead of the parents? Because I'd be all right with that, that's cool. I'm already through the worst of it, you know? I'm 6, I'm 7, it's all downhill from here. Why should my wish get granted when there's younger kids with more tubes and more tape just on the other side of this drab, faded curtain? Why me? Well, thankfully my parents and the Make-A-Wish Foundation talked some sense into me. I daydreamed for weeks until I settled on a family vacation to Disneyland near my hometown of Santa Barbara, California. Our hotel across the street even put my name up on the marquee, which to a little kid, understand, this is like winning a Grammy and upstaging Taylor Swift at the same time. Disneyland was awesome. It was everything my parents told me it would be. The lines were excruciatingly long, which to a kid is definitely a buzzkill. But other than that, my brother and I got to run around all day like lost boys. My karate technique, super on point, experts only. For almost a week, me and my brother, we just did anything we wanted, you know, beat up these ceramic cowboys, just whatever we felt like. And to this day, I have no idea what I'm doing in this picture. What am I even trying to do right there? Like, I'm not sure. I can't figure it out. So on the final day, the sun was getting low in the sky. Everyone in Disneyland started migrating to Main Street. Excuse me, sorry about that. I asked my dad why, and he told me it was the electrical parade, the shining jewel of the family vacation catalog. Everyone was lining up to get a good seat, and we better hurry if we don't want to miss out. I asked my dad, would we even be able to see the parade from the back of the crowd? I mean, we better hurry if we don't want to miss out. He reminded me that whether I'm feeling spoiled or rotten, I always have a choice. He asked me which roller coaster I would choose to ride if he could guarantee me that for 1 hour there would be no lines because everyone's watching the parade. All right? So say what you will about Splash Mountain and Matterhorn, and don't even talk to me about the teacups. Just don't even start. If you want the #1 definitive Disneyland roller coaster of all time, all roads lead to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. I know, it's a dark horse. It's a dark horse. Not a lot of huge fans. A lot of people go for the Haunted Mansion. A lot of people go for the Pirates. No, give me Big Thunder Mountain Railroad every time, okay? Let me tell you, this is the best railroad. This is the best of all time. My dad and I rode that bad boy over and over. Every time we stuttered to the line, I gave a thumbs up to the pimply kid running the switchboard, and away we'd go again. I lost count after like the 7th time. It's my photo. I was king of the world at age 6. You know what? I'm going to skip through you guys for a second here. Hey, Dan, could you hold this? This is kind of awkward. Can you hold this for me? Just like up to my height. Yeah, okay, that's perfect. Let me see here. I've dropped all my stuff. Thanks for your patience, guys. So, now I'm 33, and I'm an adult, and I am married to this wonderful woman, Amber, over here. Go ahead and snap that. God, I just dropped all these, didn't I? So, I'm a music video director. I am a social media expert. I'm a white accomplice for intersectional justice. And I'm a volunteer in the Healing Music program at Seattle Cancer Care Alliance. I also take at least 20 pills a day. I have chronic anxiety. I have some impressively eclectic PTSD, and I also have boundless optimism for the future. What I knew back then, thank you, what I knew back then, that week at Disneyland, is that despite all the pain, despite all the fear and the sadness, life is beautiful and I deserve my time in the sun. That's been a really good value for me to grow up with, yeah? That's not the only value, though, that you support when you guys donate to Make-A-Wish. It's a lot bigger than that. All these years, I've still been learning from my fight with leukemia. I've discovered real lasting benefits from that moment 27 years ago when I chose to ditch the crowded madness and take an endless free ride with my dad. I learned some more stuff as I grew up, and I'm hoping you guys can confirm what I've learned, okay? Would you say the best way to show gratitude for a gift is to pay it forward? Would you say yes? Yeah? Great. Awesome. Next, would you say that a pretty compassionate way to pay it forward is to find people who are struggling and then find a way to lighten their burden? Would you agree with that? Would you say yes for me, please? Great. Thank you. And would you say that an easy way to lighten someone's burden is to lift their spirits with joy and with fun and with laughter? Would you say yes? So you taught me that. You, the thousands of donors and supporters of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, you taught me to pay it forward. And when you bestow a wish to these kids, you teach them that everyone deserves to be spoiled rotten with happiness. Not just sick kids, not just kids, everyone. Just imagine how much happiness you can create for the future by giving to Make-A-Wish tonight. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ben. So you got to hear some stories tonight. We got to hear about Addison meeting the Pope. Got to hear about Monty. And they couldn't be here, but we heard their stories. We got to meet Sierra back there. Can't speak for herself, but the joy in her eyes. When she came in, it was funny. There was only about 3 or 4 of us in here, and she came right over to me, and we walked around. She just grabbed my hand, and we walked around the room. And I think she wanted to dance, but I'm not a good dancer, so I didn't put her through that. But she would have definitely been a better dancer than me. And you also got to hear Ben's story. And I think the overriding thing here is the fact that this didn't cure him, right? We're not saying pay for a surgery or do something like that, but it made all the difference in the world for them and their family when they were going through a tough time or just came through that tough time. I mean, can you imagine a kid at 5 or 6? Like, what is happening to me? Every time I go into and they're poking me with this and they're putting radiation through me and my hair's falling out and what's going on and why can't I go to school and to come out the other side. I mean, what a great guy. Let's hear it again for Ben. So this is your opportunity. This is a fund a need. You're not going to get a trip. You're not going to get a painting. You're not going to get anything for the money other than a tax write-off. It's 100% write-off because it goes right to Make-A-Wish. And of course, the feeling of knowing that you've helped a child going through this tough time, to have some normalcy, to be able to do something that they probably, I mean, I know for a few of them, they took them weeks to decide what they wanted to do. Would you have said, I want to meet the Pope? Can you imagine a young kid, I want to meet the Pope? But that's their wish. And they should be able to get to do what they want to do. So let's start this off. We're going to start it off. This is your opportunity. You raise your bid card. We're going to start it off at $1,000. If you just want to give $1,000 to Make-A-Wish of Alaska and Washington tonight, this is your opportunity to do that, and we'll record that down. So who's going to start off? And I'll have a few other opportunities, obviously, as well. But let's start off at $1,000. I know I've got a couple. 111. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Is there anybody else at $1,000? Okay. How about 500? Anybody at $500 is willing to just, goes right to Make-A-Wish? 127, thank you.
Thank you. Thank
129,
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else at 500? Okay, how about at 250? Anybody willing to give it 250?
Thank you.
For Make-A-Wish. 112, thank you.
130.
130, thank you.
132.
144, thank you.
132.
132, thank you. 141, thank you.
Thank you.
150, thank you. 126,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else at 250? How about at 100? Anybody at $100? 134, thank you very much. 115, thank you. 149, thank you. 125, thank you.
Thank you.
121, thank you. 135, thank you. Anybody else at $100? Our last one at $50. I'm not going to go any lower than that. If you would like to give, we know it's a stretch in other areas, so 124, thank you very, very much. Okay? Thank you. This is one of the parents, the mom of Sierra, so thank you very much. We'll take care of you. Thank you, thank you. $50? Anybody else? $50. All right. Tell you what, let's give yourselves a hand.
Thank you very much.
I know Sanford's going to come up and say a few words. I know that. I want to say thank you very, very much for coming here tonight, being a part of this, helping to make a wish of Alaska and Washington. I want to thank Sanford, Dr. Wright, for asking me to be a part of it. There's nothing better than, I get the opportunity to do auctions and things and to help different causes. And I got to tell you, it is awesome to just, be a part of something in your community, making a difference, and that's what all of you are doing. And doesn't it feel good? I mean, doesn't it to everybody here? That's why you came tonight. So, thank you for
Hey, Joe, thank you very much.
Thank you.
How did he do? Did he do good? Joe, you did good. You did very, very well. I think I know something that Joe doesn't know. No. I think I know something that Joe doesn't know. I think that we passed our goal. Congratulations, everybody. Thank you. We're about ready to wind up tonight, but maybe one or two of you have noticed that you're in a dance studio. How many would agree with that? You're in a dance studio? Yeah, okay. So just a little few comments about a dance studio. This dance studio was built on the power of one, the power of my daughter, Dasha, because the mom, after finishing a competition dance career, became more and more popular as a coach, judge, and teacher, and she's like never home. She's in San Francisco, or she's in New York, or she's here, or she's there. And so how is a daughter going to get to know the mom's business of ballroom dancing? She's going to have a tough time tracking around all those cities. So we decided to build this studio for my daughter, Dasha. Where's Dasha? She's back there. There she is, back there. Okay. So we were able to buy this studio from Peter Newland, Newland Construction, longtime friend of my dad's. It was named after my mom, because my mom was a fine artist. You can see some of her costume designs from the 1930s in the ladies' lounge there. She was recipient of the Richard Wendt Award. She wasn't so much a dancer as she was a teacher. She loved teaching. And do you know where she taught? Did she teach in a place like this? No way. She taught in the basement of our house, and it was ugly. It was unfinished. She taught kids that were from the neighborhood, that from around Everett and Mukilteo. And I suppose they took lessons from maybe 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years. Now, what do you think could come of something like that? The neighborhood kids dancing at Rose Hill School before Joe tore it down. Rose Hill PTA Fun Night. You tore it down. That was my grade school. Okay? So anyway, the point is, she loved teaching, But really, what did she accomplish? What did she accomplish? Well, over here we have David Eakes, over here at the camera, Puget Sound Video. Dave? Okay. And I grew to know David through his father, Richard Eakes, who founded Puget Sound Video. And his father interviewed some of my mother's dance students when they were about 50 years old. And what do you think they had to say? They were very emotional about those lessons. Those lessons meant everything to them. One of them stood on the floor here. She had severe polio when she was in her 50s and could hardly walk. And she said in front of the camera, in front of Richard Eakes' camera right here, that if it weren't for her dance lessons, she wouldn't be walking at all. So dance lessons can be very important. I suppose, Patrick, is like rowing and all those things that you said about rowing. These things seemingly don't seem that important to someone watching, but to someone experiencing it, and could be a lifelong treasure, you know? So anyway, tonight, my mother taught dancing when she was 12, 13, 14 years old in Spokane. And I'm very proud that my daughter over here is also teaching dancing here in the studio. And I saw her dancing with Nick. It's one of her students, and they were at the Seattle Star Ball last week, 2 weekends ago, and I thought they looked pretty good. So I thought I'd give you a chance to see how they look. Dasha and Nick. And Nick's father is, where's Nick's father? Where is he? There he is, right there. Okay. All right, let's go. Dasha and Nick, everybody. Dasha and Nick. I hope that Dasha's grandmother, Dorothy Jane, is looking down on this performance and smiling. Thank you, Dasha and Nick. We have another couple for you, Ricky and Tony, Ricky Taylor and Tony Copperman. Are they here? Maybe they can come out, okay? Ricky pretty much grew up here in ballroom dancing. She took many, many lessons here. Her partner at the time was Eric Linder. And the years passed so quickly, and all of a sudden they're on the Oprah Winfrey Show, they're on this TV show, that TV show. The pictures are around the walls here. And times change, and she has a new partner, Tony Cooperman. Success has continued. Tony and Ricky were 4th in the world in 10 dance. Yeah? 4th in the world in 10 dance in their competition. Yeah? Good? All right, let's see what you can do. Ricky, everybody. Tony and Ricky. Tony Cooperman and Ricky Taylor. Thank you very much. By the way, Ricky's parents are, where are you, Larry and Michelle, where are you? Where are the parents? Where? Here they are, stand up. These are the parents. Michelle and Larry, thank you very much. Okay. Huh?
That trophy case right there was the first thing she saw when she was 4. And we'd visited 4 or 5 different dance studios, and she'd never responded. We came in and we met Olga at the door when she was 4. She went right there and got on her knees, put her face right up to the glass, and she said, "This is all I want to do."
Wow. Wow. And how old is she now? Is she in her 30s?
She's 16.
She's only 16, everybody. 16. Okay, now it's not just ballroom dancing that takes place here. There's other dancing. There's tap dancing. My mother taught tap dancing. Dorothy Jane taught tap dancing. And there's also things here like break dancing. Break dancing. And we have over here the exponent of break dancing, David Navarez. David, are you all set to go there? David started break dancing when he was 11. Okay? And he danced all over the country. He took buses and cars and hitchhikes, and he went everywhere breakdancing. And he loves breakdancing. His job now is with WSDOT, Washington State Department of Transportation. He had an interesting time up there in Oso when the natural disaster hit. He's very busy up there. These days, for David, the importance of the breakdancing is the importance of teaching and the things that come from teaching. By the way, we have Joyce Stewart over here, whose your position is Deputy Superintendent of the Everett School System. So stand up. We're very glad that Joyce Stewart is here with us today. She understands teaching. Okay? So David is very interested in imparting what he's learned through teaching, through dancing, to his family and to others. And he's assembled a group here to kind of show you a little bit about what happens in our studio. David?
All right. My name's David, as said, and I have a dance crew. Several years ago, I was blessed from a cousin of mine who's a dancer. She happened to be friends with Olga, and I had kind of retired from the dance. I still had a dance crew, but I was kind of sitting around watching ESPN and just moving on other things as I kind of grew a little bit older. And she gave me a call, offered me to come down here and look at the facility. I looked at the facility and was like, wow, this is amazing. Because for years, I was kind of in a shadow of Dorothy Jane, who unfortunately I was never able to meet. But she was teaching kids out of her basement. I was teaching kids out of my garage. I turned my garage into a dance studio. And so every Monday night, I'd have kids and their parents knocking on my doors. And some Mondays, I'd be tired, had a long day at the department, was in the mud all day, doing whatever I need to do. And I'd be like, oh no, they're here. But the kids always wanted to keep coming. It inspired them. It inspired their parents. And so when I had the opportunity to come here, this was a major upgrade for my program. And we've done nothing but grow. And it's been amazing because I've been able to work with a lot of amazing people here. Jack and Linda and Patty and everybody, and Nick and Olga, who's been amazing. And I've been able to, my kids are part of the dance group. My daughter's here, Crystal. She's 18 years old. She just got accepted into the UW. She'll be starting the medical program. And Dr. Sanford has given her the opportunity to shadow with her at his hospital. So we're really excited about that. So I did bring North City Rockers, and then we also brought the Los Angeles Breakers. So yeah, we like to go around and mix it up and mingle with some of the greats of today's dancers. So I brought a few of them here. And so when the music starts, I guess we'll go. But before the music starts, I think we had a discussion about this the other day. Did anybody get to see the eclipse? Did anybody really get to see it, or are you just looking out your window, your car, stopped on the freeway? All right, so I also had a great opportunity. I was able to drive Saturday morning to a town called, I think it's called like John Day, Oregon. Does anybody know that area? It's in the Umatilla. In Espanol, we'd say the Umatilla National Forest. So I got to stay there. I was in the path of totality solo. I drove a 4-wheel drive with 36-inch tires and lifted way, way back in the back country, and was there all by myself, just myself and the elements. And it was amazing. So life-changing experience, and hopefully I live to be 100 and see the next one. So with that being said, drop that beat. Mr. Jones. So we got Rigo, Crystal, G. Steele, and Still Will from the LA Breakers.
Hey guys, that pretty much is the one that no, there's something wrong here. Dave, what's the matter?
You know, we're missing one student.
Yeah, I think so. We're missing a student.
Which one? Which is it?
Uh-oh, they have a problem.
Okay, hold on.
This is totally
Hold
edge
on.
man.
Let's come over here. Let me see. You. Can you slow this?
Dave, I think this is pretty scary.
She comes out to dance. Her mom named her Masha, not Marsha. So we want everybody to learn how to say it right. So I need everybody to chant, and you kids too. Masha. 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 Masha.
Thank you, David. Thank you, dancers, very much. Thank you. Well, it's time to wind up our evening. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, it's time to wind up our evening, you guys. And just a reminder that all of the funds that came through tonight's events go straight to Make-A-Wish within the next day or two. And that money is then going to be parsed out to other Wish kids like Sierra, like Ben, like Addison, and others. And we will know who these people are, and we're going to present them on stage at the Christmas Spectacular in Everett and possibly the Moore Theater this coming December 15, December 15, December 16. So you will see where your money went in December. Joe, where's Joe? Where's our auctioneer? Joe, any final comments for you? I didn't realize auctioneers ever took off that.
All right. Well, no, I got to turn it off because, you know, I'm over there drinking a beer now.
So
I waited till after I was done, okay? I think I said what I wanted to say earlier, which was thank you so much. And I know the Sanford thanks you. I know the Make-A-Wish families that are here that had an opportunity to get a wish. Thank you very, very much. Am I correct? Yes. Yes. So with that, you know what? Thank you so much for coming out. It's a Thursday. It was beautiful out. And you could have had many other things to do tonight. But you came because you wanted to be a part of your community. You wanted to help out. And we can't thank you enough for that. We certainly couldn't have done it. You know, you can throw one of these parties, and if nobody comes, it's no fun. So we would have stood around here and talked. And anyway, so we couldn't have done it without you. So thank you very much. And now this is our first annual. He has not done this before. He's done the Christmas Spectacular every year that I got to help him with that, which we'll be doing again this year. But should we do another one of these next year? Well, there you go.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's it, everybody. Thanks for coming. We appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Okay, girls, here they come. Get ready.